A brief update on Masculinity. The podcast is still going. It's still going at whatever pace it's going, just a slow pace. Hopefully, there'll be some more episodes coming out soon. So, just an update that yes, it's still going. There will be more episodes, and you may have noticed that I've changed the subheading, the subtitle for the podcast. I have changed it from Critical Study of Matthew and Masculinity to Matthean Exegesis. Not that there's really going to be much change in the actual episodes. It's still going to be the same. It's still got the same approach, but I felt like using Critical Study of Matthew and Masculinity, it made it sound like I was using masculinity as the dominant framework, and that's obviously not what this podcast is ultimately about. It's just about including masculinity when it's relevant, but not enforcing that as a paradigm. Just mentioning it whenever it's relevant. So looking at masculinity whenever it's relevant, which is quite often in terms of like it's more often than what other commentators will do, but it's not. I'm not enforcing it as the main paradigm. So really, originally it was just there to remind me to do it, to not to forget to include masculinity in the critical study of Matthew. But so why have I dropped out critical study? Well, I think that also too sounds too narrow. It can sound like, it's only a certain kind of study and it's critical study, whereas critical study is it's not supposed to be narrow, but a broader word is just simply exegesis, which is a broader word. Although sometimes I prefer the word poetics, because exegesis is often taken to be a narrow kind of exegesis, but maybe it's good to reclaim the term exegesis to show people that it can be broad. What I mean when I say broad and narrow, because that can mean various different things, but what I mean is that exegesis, what usually counts as exegesis, is the historical background studies, trying to find an historical context to put the book in or the passage that you're studying into. Whereas that's just the beginning. That's not really that's not the exegetical work. That's just the beginning steps for to prevent us from going in completely the wrong direction and assuming that it's a modern text and make all these wrong assumptions about the kind of text that we're reading. So it's very good to to do that, but there's so many answers, there's so many logical things that we're missing in the text if we think that is an exegetical analysis. That's just an historical background analysis to get us started. Yeah, that's good, but it's exegesis in my mind is more about finding the answers in the text, letting the text generate the answers according to its own logic. And there's so many things that we miss. There's so much there to explore, and so some people might say, well, that's narrower. You've narrowed down. You're not focusing on historical context, trying to ascertain historical context. You're not really doing much of that. So I guess someone else might say that's not more broad. That's more narrow. We could probably argue about this all day, but anyway, that's my perspective on why I'm using the word exegesis as a word that's trying to capture what I'm doing. And yeah, I don't want to get hung up too much on words because different people mean different things by the same word. Yeah, so that's just a brief update to let you know. Yes, more episodes are on the way, and you might notice, yes, the subheading, the subtitle is no longer Critical Study of Matthew and Masculinity, but simply Matthean Exegesis.